What's going on, everybody? This is Scott, also known as ChaChingKing, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the very things that we've sold and how we found them, how much we paid, and some hints for you to go out and find great items for you to sell. So let's jump over to the computer, dive right in, and let's take a look. The first one I'm going to share with you is a Swarovski annual crystal ornament. These Swarovski ornaments were probably the strangest negotiation that I've ever had. So I go to North Carolina and I'm helping my friend at what's called a private pick. And through word of mouth, which I still think is the most important tool that you have in sourcing, he lets me know that a friend of his has some ornaments and she wants to know if I want to come look at them. And I do. When I get there, it's the Swarovski crystal annual ornaments. They started in '91 and I think they're still making them. They're very valuable for the early ones. And some of hers are broken. This one, for example, is broken. I've got a good picture of it. I try to show all the damage if I can. There it is. You can see it really clearly right there. The tip is broken completely off, but this is the 91. This is the first year. Unbroken, this ornament sells for $2,500 to $3,500. As it is, I got $600 for it. She had 21 of these ornaments, 91 through 2012, I think. And going through them, some of them were broken, and I'm trying to get a price out of her. And finally, I'm like, you know, if I were at a sale, I would probably pay $20 to $30 a piece and be happy with it. And she said, no, no, no. And I thought, sure, here she comes. And she said, I want $5 a piece. And so the rest of the negotiation went with me trying to talk her up and her trying to stay down. So I finally got her to agree to $10 a piece. I sold the first one the first day for $600. Told my friend, I said, this is a bad deal. And I sent him another couple $100. I said, that would have at least been what I offered the first time. She wouldn't take it. She wouldn't take it. Swarovski crystal ornaments. You need to know what these are. It's not impossible that you would see these at an estate sale. They can be quite valuable. So I've sold a few of the others. We'll take a look at that. All right, let's move on to the next item. This is a pocket knife, and it did not sell for $600. I think I ended up taking an offer of $450 for it. And William Henry, which is the brand on this, makes outstanding knives. If you look here at that type of blade, that is called a Damascus steel. This is titanium. The gems in it are citrine, and the balusters on the little leather part are silver. William Henry is definitely a brand to know. This is not something that I bought to sell. We paid $500 for it, and I want to say it was like 2011 maybe. I carried it for 10 years and I sold it for $450, so it ends up not even being an expensive pocket knife. Here is another one of the Swarovski ornaments. This one is from '93, and this one I took an offer of $400 for it. And again, it sold almost immediately. Now this one wasn't broken. It's the 91 Swarovski one that's worth the most, but even 93 is worth quite a bit. Okay, these are interesting. You're going to see a lot of fishing lures when you're out. You're looking for fishing lures, you're looking for age. And this one has some serious age to it. You can see the crazing in the paint. I mean, it just looks older. And the jitterbug is written on it in a large font. Also, let me scroll down a little bit. I like to take a picture. I always take a picture like this to show it. But with fishing lures, I like to show it in my hand. That gives people a really good idea of exactly what size it is. And the people that know fishing lures, they know what they're looking at. And so this one I did on an auction because I knew it would bring at least $200. And I think I started the bidding at $200. But I thought it could go for more, and it ends up going for $350. That was a great sale. All right, here, the Moonlight Bait Company. If you sell many fishing lures, you'll get to where you notice certain things about them. So on the Moonlight Bait Company, the slope of this nose, like, because they're not all jointed like this one, but anytime I see that sloped nose like that with the glass eye, I know the Moonlight lures are going to go for quite a bit. I think I had this one listed for $350, took an offer of $315, And again, if you get the right fishing lures, they can sell super fast. This one sold almost immediately. So I think within a day. You know, pictures are free when you're loading them up there. So I use all the pictures that eBay will allow me. This lure and the jitterbug that I just showed you were on a wall in that private pick in North Carolina. And so he had them displayed, and I am still working through those lures. Some of them take me a little bit longer to identify. This, I think this might be the coolest thing I have found in forever. Maybe not the most valuable, but super cool. This is a football program. And for those of you that don't know what a football program is, a lot of times at the game now, they'll sell you a Xerox for $1. And, you know, it's just got the list of the players and all that. Well, back in the day, they would have a football program. This is for a professional football game. And it was the Chicago Bears versus the Chicago Cardinals. That isn't what was cool. Is when I looked at this, it was December 7th, 1941. That was Pearl Harbor Day. This came from Antique Photographs, and it was mixed in with them. My cost on this was absolutely negligible. I think I ended up getting $300 for it because that is a pretty good tear running through it right there. But keep your eyes open for things that hit historical dates. When I got online and looked, there was another professional football game played that day, and there were lots of those programs, and they sell more like $200. But I couldn't even find another one of this one. So super, super fun to find things like this. I always try to show all of the damage that I can. I just look at that. George Hallis. What an amazing find. That one of my favorite finds of all time. There, that shows the tear pretty good. Had that been in better condition, it would have brought closer to $500. All right, let's keep going. These are called license plate toppers. And you can see, if you look right here, this is where it would have attached when they bolt on the license plate. This would just go right above it. And you can tell by looking at this, this was never mounted. And this is Evinrude Motors. And this is cast aluminum, probably 1950s. Cleveland Yacht and Supply, they probably gave it away when they sold a boat or something. So these right here can be quite valuable. This, I took a best offer of $300 for this. And so license plate toppers are always worth looking at. Super fun. They're not just boat people that sell them. You might find them for any type of advertising, and that's what they are. They're advertising. So the license plate toppers, in my opinion, super fun when you do find them, and super cool. And when you find one, you may find more. So always look carefully. How cool is this? This is a poster. Like a thick card poster, and it was for the Freeport Speedway, which is closed. I'm guessing based on the other things, it would have been 1960s, late 1960s, and I always try to show all the damage, everything can, but look at the back of this. This was the notice was probably at a mechanic shop somewhere long after the race. They just used it as paper. So I show all of that. I took a $200 offer on this. Anytime you get these thicker posters like this that are printed on kind of a cardstock, you probably can't roll it. So just remember that when you're shipping it, it's going to take a little bit more to ship because if it's larger, it isn't going to fit inside an envelope. But I love stuff like this, these historical ephemera. Super cool piece. It actually didn't go to somebody in Minnesota, which is where this one was from. There was another Freeport Speedway in New York, and that's where it ended up going. The bulk of what Melody and I sell are vintage clothes. And I don't show all the vintage clothes because it gets kind of like, here's another shirt that you've probably seen 100 of. So I try to, if I'm going to show what sold, I want to show the ones that are genuinely something you can watch for. So on this one, aside from the sleeves being cut off, it's this part right here. This is called a V, and there isn't one on the back. So this is called a single V sweatshirt. And how you can date these is it's got the single V, and then down at the bottom, you see how wide that band is at the bottom? That's also a good indicator of age. And of course, the fade on this thing was incredible. The Ferry Hall School is a girls' school with some relatively famous people that have gone to school there. Very well thought of. But anyway, I listed it for $275. It sold for $180 within a day. Like, it sold quick. Super cool. Love the single V and the double V sweatshirts from back in the day. Always take a look. If it looks like it's got some age to it and you see that wide band at the bottom, it is absolutely worth picking up. I have sold sweatshirts for $500 to $1,000. So always check them out. And this came from a place without a lot of other clothing from this era. So definitely cool. Definitely watch for age just for that one piece. Maybe it was their granddad's and it's hanging around in the bottom of a closet. When I'm at estate sales, especially at estate sales, I check the back of the closet. That's the part of the clothes that gets cycled through the least by the previous owner. And then I'm checking the lowest drawers, because as you get older, those are harder to get into, and in the very back. And that's where I pull these things from when I find them. You've heard Harley-Davidson 100 times, but this type right here with this patent leather bill on it, these are quite valuable. This one, I took a best offer of $150 on it. It would have gone for more. This was in pretty rough condition. This thing had been rode hard and put up wet, but still wearable, and it wasn't a big size. I think this was like a size 7. One of the keys to Harley-Davidson, if it is Harley-Davidson branded like this right here, but it is on a different brand of, if the hat wasn't a Harley-Davidson, if somebody else made the hat, you have to be very careful. Harley-Davidson doesn't want you selling their items as Harley-Davidson on other items. So be very careful of that. But this was a Harley-Davidson hat, $150, very quick turnaround. From the same place that I picked up the license plate topper, I ended up with a box of pins. And this one sold for $150, and it sold in about 2 hours. But let's talk about why this pin sold and what you can do when you're out looking at garage sales and estate sales on how to find something like this right here. Notice that this is a 50-year pin. Most of your 5, 10, 15, and even your 20-year pins are going to be made of some type of cheap pot metal. And they don't have a lot of value unless they're incredibly rare. Once you get up into some of the 30 and then 40 and 50-year pins, a lot of those are going to be made out of gold. And if they're gold and a cool pin, they start going up in value. This didn't weigh hardly anything, but it's still 14 karat gold. It's a very cool pin. There aren't many 50-year Evinrude pins floating around. So $150 sold very, very quickly. But when you're at a sale and you see 50 years on it, it's worth flipping that thing over and taking a hard look at it. I don't know who remembers the Sweats Locker that I bought, but we are now wholesaling a lot of this stuff out. We sell them in packs of 3. And this doesn't look like much. So this sold for $38.99, and there's 3 of them. But I keep relisting them. And this person bought 3 packs of these. So the sale was... Actually, I think he bought 7 packs of these. I think he bought all of them I had listed that day. And so, I mean, a couple of $100 easily. And keep in mind, that's more than $10 a sweatshirt, which is a great price for them. But I have thousands of these. I have thousands of sweatshirts out of that locker. This was a storage locker, and I have a video about this storage locker, about how we picked it out and how we chose this locker. It had a lot to do with us being able to see that Health Knit emblem on there, and there was a lot of brand new old stock Health Knit in there. So it doesn't look like a big sale here when you see $38.99, but with vintage sweatshirts, you're always going to look for old stock, and once you back up to the 80s and earlier, they start going up in value, and they're absolutely worth considering. When I first brought this locker home, I was selling one sweatshirt at a time and selling them for $35 to $40. And they were selling, but slow. And I have thousands. I need my storage space back so I can buy another storage locker. If I do another what sold, I'll try and calculate how much we've made on this locker. Conservatively, we'll hit $20,000, $25,000, but I think it could be a lot more than that. It's just how fast do I want to sell it? This is a find, and this one comes with a PSA, a public service announcement. I bought these, and I knew exactly what they were. This is Gorham. They make silver. This is all sterling silver, and it's a 5-piece set. And I ended up taking an offer of $100 because it was just a lady with great feedback. But I took an offer of $100. Here's the warning. I bought these at a garage sale in Duluth, Minnesota, like 3 years ago. And they sat in my death pile, and I forgot about them. They sat there. $15 into $100. It took just no time at all for them to sell once I got around to doing the work. I am a big believer in having some back stock, but man, you got to get that stuff listed. And cherry pick, list the best stuff, give away the rest if you need to. But our whole business model isn't built around listing a ton of items, but it is built around listing stuff like this. $100 sale, $15 item, and it sold in just super, super fast. That should have never been in my death pile, and it was there for a long, long time. And the last item I'm going to show you, and then I'll close up, is going to look like nothing. And I'm going to tell you why this is the kind of stuff for you to pay attention to. And I'm going to tell you exactly how I found the last item. And I'm going to share with you information that I don't think I have ever shared on my channel before. I've just kept it to myself. So big spoiler coming up on the last one. Dust mop pads. So at $7.49 plus shipping, I clear, after my bag and eBay fees and shipping and everything, I clear $1 a pad. So I clear $5 on these. You'll see here that it says that I've sold 444 of them. So that's a couple of grand. But I had to redo this ad a while back. So I've sold about 1,500 of these pads. And I guess it's probably 3 listings now that I've redone it, but 3 listings over the course of maybe 7 years that I have been selling these now. We bought a 16-foot trailer load of these for $20. And when it goes off, it's not exciting. Like, I'm going to clear $5 when I hear cha-ching and I'm like, ooh, did I sell a license plate topper? Nope, I sold mop pads. But I'm going to the post office anyway. We go to the post office every day. And I clear $5. And I know it doesn't sound like much, but that's $5 every time this has gone off for 7 years. And I'm about halfway through these things. So my $20 is just a boatload of money. And let me tell you where I found these. There is a website in the Dallas-Fort Worth area called Rosen Systems. And they do business liquidations. This isn't like the bulk.com or liquidations.com. I've not had any experience with them. This place just does businesses. And a lot of times it's industrial stuff. It doesn't have any interest to us. But we monitor it. And occasionally they'll come up with something that we think we can ship. And like on these, nobody was interested in dust mop pads. So $20 into 7 years. And I still sell them a couple a week. I'll sell more in the spring, but I clear $5 every single time. It's not exciting, but you don't have to build your business around just exciting stuff. Most of the things I showed you, super exciting. But this one right here has made more than all of the others that I've shown you put together. The listing's already done. What if you had 100 listings of stuff just like this? I've got a little storage building out in outside, and we keep them in there, and nobody's going to steal them. They're just dust mop pads. They just look like work. And think about that. What if you had 100 items like this, and you were clearing $100 a day, and you never had to make another listing? The Rosen Systems is the company that I watch for auctions. There's probably something similar near you. If you live outside of a metroplex, there's somebody that's handling the court liquidations and things like that. And if you find it, start watching their auctions and wait for dust mop pads. That's our what's sold. Like, when we have fun doing this, I tell everybody what I do. Then the number one place that we get our inventory from is from private picks, and that comes from word of mouth. Most everything I pick now is word of mouth, but I do watch the auctions, and I love estate sales and garage sales, and I go to those and I check the boxes under the tables. I check the back of closets. I check the bottom of drawers. I'm trying to get to the places where not everybody is looking. When you see these people racing through the estate sales, grabbing all the stuff on top, I'm looking for the other stuff. And I'm looking for things that are just a little bit different so that I can pull things that other people don't see. That's it for this one. I really appreciate you guys watching. I hope you found this interesting and valuable. And if so, then I should see you real soon on the next one. Bye.